Why do we see so many women causing frustration in their relationship when they start dating a man based on a wound that someone else did, not the man in front of them?
Because we've created a generation of narcissistic women. The rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. Every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. They are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project, so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women. If I post a bikini picture online, there's nothing my husband can do that could compete with
the compliments, the attention, the messaging, the you're so sexy and beautiful, and all these different things from thousands or potentially millions of men
around the world
who have money and all these things.
And there's nothing he can do. He can't post online and get the same reaction. And more so, he can't give me the same level of validation. So what's happened is we've created a setup in society that means men have to compete with a level of validation they can't compete with. And if they go online, if they join Tinder, that night they can have so many more options than a man can because we've got filters. So but the things I can do to manipulate male validation,
to get more attention from men,
just soothe myself and to remind myself I'm above this, I don't need him, I can replace him, is something men actually can't do. So they have to rely on pornography for that. They replace us with pornography and we replace them with likes. And comments on social media.
How did this happen? Is this a values thing, a lack of values thing? Is this if I feel wounded or I feel some type of trauma, I need an emotional release, and so this makes me feel good, and then it's just a slippery slope into more and more? How does this start, and when does it end?
It comes from the fact that we've created a culture that whenever there's a problem, there's a temporary solution that doesn't get rid of the root. If there's a problem with intimacy for men and they're not getting women, there's pornography. If there's a problem of low self-esteem in women because they don't have meaning and purpose, they can post a few pictures online. We've created a way of solving problems that doesn't get rid of the root. So we're always seeking highs. And the problem with highs is they come with lows. So you end up having more problems, more low self-esteem, and then seeking bigger highs to get that kind of back to neutral state. The problem comes with problems being solved by seeking highs and a real focus on kind of values that are very empty materialistic values. So you are a beautiful, high-value woman if you're really, really beautiful. And you're a high-value man now if you are really, really rich. But there's nothing to do with connection and intimacy that now gives us status. And I think that's come from social media mainly.
Where does this lead over the next 3 to 5 years with this narcissistic society, I guess, that's been built in this way? What happens for people in relationships? Are people able to find intimacy and connection and stay committed and be actually happy in a healthy relationship, or is it only going to get worse?
It leads to intense and pervasive loneliness, unfortunately.
Really?
And it probably will only get worse. Until we wake up to the impact of technology, both on men and women, it's going to lead to a complete identity crisis, external kind of extrinsic values that don't benefit anybody, which then manifests in depression and loneliness, self-inflicted depression and loneliness. It's not like I have a disease or anything. It's self-inflicted through poor choices. It's going to lead to men not being able to commit to women because they can get all of the joys of sexual relationships without having to invest, and women not being able to commit to men because they can get all the validation of male attention without having to adapt and change themselves according to the needs of the relationship.
What happens when men and women never commit?
They find themselves unable to put somebody else's well-being above their own. So we're creating people who are entirely individualistic, deprived of responsibility, and unable to care and nurture for others because they're not putting somebody else's well-being above theirs. When you are unable to commit, essentially you wake up every single day saying, what do I want to do? What do I want to do today? And as nice and as freeing as that is, it deprives you of human responsibility. And in order to truly become something, we're designed to be responsible. We're designed to be valuable. We're designed to serve others. This is how we've evolved. Becoming completely individualistic leads to a sense of lonely narcissism, I believe.